shonga chuji anji podra toksen sanji kanji ngonyet nazama shurga mozuma stunza sawe lama namla sora de kirba sanje chwa shikdanye nyamba druba shumla tanda sanjine manere dambe chamso loto chamso shabla sora de lame josme chamso toje dang shirga kura pema shumla ji shenru tsunga kyawe nyuku ye tanda drupa tanjina drupa ho ranjin lama drambe kaje Kosme charo shidro lazo her Rale jana nepre tujoni Tuyo irmi jivara shinji lo. Everybody raised bodhicitta to benefit countless suffering sentient beings. That all beings may have happiness and all the causes of happiness, that they may be free from suffering and all the causes of suffering, that they may never be separated from the great happiness, devoid of suffering, they may forever dwell in the great equanimity, free from attachment and aversion. To sacred Bodhisattva, the precious and excellent mind, where it is not, may it arise, where it is, may it never decline, consistently growing, rising higher and higher. And we carry on with these teachings of Togme Zampo, most incredible teachings, the 37 practices of a Bodhisattva. So often in life, we're looking for something to entertain us. We look at all sorts of things to entertain us, and there's many different things to entertain us. We can go shopping, working, go to the gym, go to parties, go to the movies, go drink coffee, go to bars, go gambling. There's all sorts of different ways. Go hiking, go into nature. All sorts of ways that we look to entertain ourselves. And of all these things, we've done all of these things. Most of us have experienced these things. Some things we enjoy more than others. But with all of these things, they're all temporary. How long do they last for? For a while we feel happy, and then we have to go back. We go back to work, or things change, or we get distracted, or we get bored. We're looking for something else to entertain us. So we're distracted for a while, maybe a day, a week, a month, a year, a few years. But then after a while, our mind does get bored. Maybe we need to buy something new, something else, the latest model. Don't know, this relationship is getting a little bit stale. Maybe I should change my job. All of these things. We start looking for something else. Have a beautiful house. Maybe we need another house. Maybe we need to renovate. Maybe we need a new car, a new iPhone. Always. Why are we doing this? Because we're looking for happiness. The happiness that we had was short term. It was temporary. Now it's changed. Now we're looking for something else. And all the time, is it happiness? Sometimes when we have a lot of pain, we're really sick, and it abates for a while. We get something to treat it, and the pain subsides. We feel much, much better. But we still have pain, but not as extreme or not as severe. So sometimes the same. Is it that we're feeling relief, or is it actually real happiness? Relief from our other sufferings. This suffering is not as great. Every single one of us wants to be happy. Not one of us wants to suffer. This is the same for all of us. But sometimes we pursue this happiness. And maybe the places that we're not really going to find happiness is what we're doing really bringing us happiness. And there's all kinds of different happiness. Somebody likes some things very gentle. Some people like things with whips and chains. Some people like this color. Some people like that model. Everybody's perception of happiness is different. Of suffering is different. Somebody gets a new Toyota. They think this must be the greatest thing. Another person thinks, a new Toyota. What's happened to my life? I was always driving Ferraris. Different perceptions, sometimes of the same thing. They say people who have jaundice, they see white as yellow. So it's not really yellow, it's just their perception, they see it as yellow. In actual fact, it's white. Or people that sometimes there's a defect in the eye, that you see blurs, or little things seem to be flying around outside. But in reality, the defect is in the eye. So this is what's happening for many of us. We're looking outside, trying to purify the outside, change the outside, when the defect isn't outside, it's within ourselves. Always looking externally when we should look internally. It's like somebody trying to find a thief. When the thief is in the house, they look all around the house. They can't find the thief. Or if you have an elephant on your back, and you start looking for it by following its footprints, you don't find it. That's often what it's like, looking externally for all of these problems and resolving them instead of looking internally. And there are many different kinds of thoughts that steal our happiness. Unawareness steals our happiness. We're unaware. We don't see these thoughts coming in, arising. They disappear. We haven't even seen them come. We haven't even seen what seeds they planted for us. Very important awareness. And we spoke about doubt. If you doubt, go find out for yourself. So last week we spoke about cause and effect. And every one of us is one day going to get sick. One of us, hopefully, as you said, we have old age. It doesn't matter how well you look after yourself, how well you look after your body, what you eat. There's going to be one day that you fall sick. Sometimes we ask, why is my life so short? Why do other people die so quickly? Just a matter of time. In fact, everybody's going to experience death. There's a story of Buddha, and he had, there was a lady that came to him. Her child had just died, very young age. He said, please, can you bring my child back to life? Buddha said to her, go to your village and ask everybody in the village who's experienced death in the family. She went to the first house, asked, and they said, yes, grandfather's died. The next house, a grandmother died. The next one, a relative died. The next one of the family members, a brother or a sister or a child. And she realized that it wasn't just her that had somebody that was close to her that had died. Everybody had experienced death. It's going to happen to everybody. And she went back to Buddha and she became an incredible, in fact, I believe, a realized practitioner. So death is going to happen to all of us. Change is going to happen to all of us. People go for a run, 40 years old, perfect health, suddenly drop dead, heart attack. Friend goes for a ride on a motorbike. A few days later, a message on Facebook. He's gone, had an accident. An earthquake arises. Suddenly, in a moment, in a few moments, everything comes to an end. Life comes to an end. Or all of those plans come to an end. People die in earthquakes. They're dreaming about their relationships, they're planning their relationships, they're involved in their relationships, in earning money, buying a new house, building a house. All of these plans gone, come to an end. Some people die, some people don't. Exactly the same place. Some people are buried for days, but they live. Why? Different causes and conditions, different results of cause and effect. The cause and effect ripened for those. They're in the same place, those that died. The cause and effect for death came. When death comes knocking at the door, you can't stop death. Even if you've got 1,000 or 100,000 soldiers surrounding you, when death knocks at your door, you can't stop it. Where does this come from? Causes. People who live long life. Where does it come from? Causes. What are the causes? Helping others, saving lives, benefiting others. Look at cause and effect. People live in a rich country, good education, good medical, well paid, good the minimum income or the minimum salary is very high. But still some people are poor, very, very poor, battle to make ends meet, even although they're in a very wealthy country. Other people live in a very poor country. They don't have any of these benefits. The people are struggling, but some people have enough. Why? Causes and effect, cause and effect. They've planted these seeds before. Sometimes we say, but look at these people. They got a lot of money, but they're stealing, they're cheating people. Yes. So it looks like cheating and stealing is the right thing. This is the way. But it's not. The cause and effect for their stealing and cheating is still going to come. It's still going to ripen. They've just planted those seeds. They got what they got now because of what they did before, the seeds they planted before. This is very dangerous about cause and effect, is because we don't get the result straight away. If we experience the result straight away, we really wouldn't do many of these things. But we don't. That result comes late, so we don't see it. And then when we die, our next life, we experience that remorse or that the effect, the suffering of it, the result. So just because you don't experience the effect straight away, the result straight away, don't think it doesn't happen. It applies to everybody. Cause and effect applies to everybody, whether you believe it or not. We ask ourselves, why did this happen to me? Your partner has an affair. You have an affair. Why has he left me? Why has she left me? Why are these things happening? What have I done? All because of cause and effect. What did we do before? Now we're experiencing the result. So it's very important to know this truth of cause and effect. Very important. Before we didn't know, so we made all of these mistakes, and now we experience the result thereof. But now we know. So take great care. What are you doing? What are those arising thoughts? Liberate them if they're going to create actions that cause suffering. Because you're going to experience the result one day, not anybody else. You're going to bear the fruit or eat the fruit of your own actions. You're the director and the actor. You direct the movie, and then you're going to have to act the part. Teach people about cause and effect. Like, for instance, as don't give money to the rich. Many advise. Don't give material things to the rich. Why? They don't need. The poor need. Give to the poor. But you can still teach them about cause and effect. Also teach the poor people. They also need to know about it. Why they're poor today. Teach them about cause and effect. Teach them about offering. Maybe they don't have much materially to offer, but they can offer time. Make offerings, then there's more chance that abundance will come back to them. Wealthy people, teach them about cause and effect. Teach them about giving, offering. Maybe they don't need now, but they might squander this opportunity. They might squander their wealth. Rather let them continue creating these causes, that in the future they have abundance as well. Not only that, they're benefiting others. It becomes more and more a habit, more and more easy to do. The easier it is to do, the easier it is to get the results back again. Of course, getting back in abundance shouldn't be our motive, but it's the result. With the cause comes the result. But remember, we're still driven forward by these habits, so we must really work hard, be conscientious, be aware of changing them. So we read verse number 9, and verse number 9 is also continuing in this respect. The practice of all the Bodhisattvas is to strive towards the goal, which is the supreme state of changeless, everlasting liberation, since all the happiness of the three realms lasts but a moment, and then is quickly gone, just like dewdrops on blades of grass. To attain the highest levels of realization, we also need the causes and conditions. We need the cause and effect. When our mind becomes pure, this world is beautiful. We see the beauty of the world. We can be surrounded by beauty when we realize the wealth within ourselves. Wherever we go, there's happiness, there's gratitude, there's respect. Where's it all happening? Where's the beauty happening? Where's the respect happening? The gratitude, the joy, it's all happening in our mind. You can be surrounded by beauty, by wealth, by wonderful people, and you can still be unhappy. You can live in a big house and you can be very alone. You can live in a big house with many other people, and you can wish to live alone. You can live in a big house with many other people and you can feel alone. It's all happening in our own mind. It's a big thing today. They talk a lot about people feeling lonely. They might be around other people, but they feel isolated. They feel alone. And on the other side, you can have nothing, but you can be full of happiness. You can have realized that wealth within yourself. So it's really, this wealth is within inside ourselves. The other wealth, the external wealth, you can have it, but it doesn't necessarily going to go with you. But if you have the wealth within you, wherever you go, it's going to go with you. So there's different realms. There's the three realms. There's the desire realm, like the humans, full of attachment, desire. If you keep on your meditation, it can really improve that you are free from this attachment, and you abide in the form realm, and there's great bliss over there. But people attach to this. And there's also the formless realm, where you have subtle stages or elements of meditative absorption. Very, very strong meditation, very good, but it's still not enlightenment. It's still temporary. It's still going to change. It's only when you attain enlightenment that you're free from this. And when we say free from this, what do we mean? We maintain the same state of mind, but the appearances still change. Life is full of changes, full of suffering. You're born, there's suffering. There's suffering for the mother, there's suffering for the child. The child comes out and gets a hiding. I don't know if this is still what happens today. And then you become a teenager. And then, although it's very exciting, there's a lot of insecurity, there's a lot of change going on, suffering. Teenage years, puberty for some people is very, very difficult. And then, what job do I go into? What field of study? How many people really know? Suffering as well. Worrying about marks. Worrying about relationships. If you're in a relationship, is it the right relationship or not? Should you get married or not? If you don't have children, you worry about having children. If you have children, you worry about having too many children. You have concerns at work. Worried about this relationship, that relationship, work relationship. And then you get old. And there's the sufferings of old age. What did you do? Is there anything you regret? Causes you suffering. You don't want to be a nuisance, you don't want to be a burden, but you also don't want to be alone. When we're in our middle years, we're very independent. We're not independent, but we feel independent. We're very self-reliant. When we're young, we need other people. We need the help of other people. When we're old, we need the help of other people. And then there's the suffering of death. So there's all of these sufferings going on. Things change. As you said, it mentions over here, all of these external things, all of these things that we pursue externally, they all change. They're all temporary. And just like a blade of dew on a blade of grass. And that goes for this life as well. When you're 50 or 60 or you're close to death, you realize it's gone like a dream. This life is over, short, just like dew on a blade of grass. Where did the time go? It's gone. Sometimes during life you think it's really dragging on, but it really goes so quickly. So, do we pursue these things that are temporary all the time, or do we go for enlightenment? So practice transforming our mind, transforming our afflictive emotions. By doing this, all this unhappiness becomes less and less, more and more happiness time. That state becomes more and more stable. Often people that don't practice this, they think those people practicing it, poor them. They don't know what they're missing. Really think, I wish that they really sincerely think that practicing and transforming the mind is a waste of time. It doesn't have so much benefit. They should rather be involved in the material world. And they really wish for these people. They really want them to be happy. They think this is happiness. They don't know the benefit of transforming the mind, of practicing loving kindness, the truth of cause and effect. So it's very important, as we said, to live in the present, in the now, to transform these afflictive emotions. Stay in awareness. Live in the now, in the present. Don't live in the past. The past is gone, it's over, like a dream. Don't be attached to it. It's not going to come back. Don't live in the future. Make your plans. It's very important to have direction. Make plans. But you can't create your future in the future. You create your future now, in the present. What you're doing now is going to build those blocks, create those causes for what happens in the future. Now is where we're creating our future. Now is where we're planting those seeds. Now is where we're liberating those negative thoughts. So practice that awareness. Stay in the now. And now you have that opportunity to make those choices. And pursue loving kindness. Pursue these things that benefit others. In this way we create our own short-term happiness. And we also are striving towards that long-term happiness of enlightenment. And our mind becomes more and more vast. More and more open, not so selfish. Just like you lie in the rocks, maybe in the desert or in the mountains, in the Tibetan mountains. And you look up and you see all these stars. So vast. But instead we're so involved with our own selfish concerns. We're so limited, so insignificant. But to ourselves, we're so important. So it's very important that we open our minds to benefiting others. And we spoke about the realms. Where does they come? It becomes about because of cause and effect. So how did we attain these lives? Cause and effect. Why? Have you ever asked yourself, why was I born as a human instead of being born as an animal? Surely there must be some reason. Or do we think that somebody just decided for us? So we're born from the union of our parents. Our flesh comes from this. But where does this mind come from? Where do these habits come from? Twins are born in the same family. They're brought up in the same family, but they're different. Their habits are different. Children are brought up in the same place. Their habits are different. Why? Where do these habits come from? We're all going to experience death, and then we're going to the bardos. How long are we going to be in the bardos for? We don't know. It's going to be experienced. That bardo experience is going to be determined by what we've done, those seeds that we planted also in our life. We don't have the body to control it or to anchor us anymore. So the mind, they say, is incredibly fast. So what's going on in our mind? Is it angry, unhappy things? Then we're going to experience great suffering, many times greater than what we do present in this human life. And if there's happiness, then the other way as well. So it's very important for that stage in the bardos and for our next life. So just with respect to reincarnation, many people don't believe it. They say, I don't remember anything. So how can it be true? There's many things that we don't remember. We don't remember what we did last month. We don't remember those photographs that people took of us. We don't remember what we ate 3 months ago. How are we going to remember what happened in previous lives? There's many things that have happened that we don't know about. Doesn't mean just because we don't know about it, it didn't happen. There's a lot of scientific evidence to show, to lean towards reincarnation. There's nothing to prove it doesn't exist. Dr. Stevenson, I think in the 60s, he died in 2007, in the 60s. He did a lot of research on this. In the 60s, he was going on a holiday, heard about people recalling their past lives. He thought this was interesting. He heard of a few cases. Thought he'll spend a few weeks there and a few weeks on holiday. When he got there, he had so many cases, he didn't go on holiday eventually. He carried on until 2007. Recorded 2,500 cases of people remembering their past lives. Then there was Dr. Tucker, who carried on from him, who apparently in the beginning wasn't so sure about this. But then he came really interested, and he had a story in America. So they traveled all around the world. This one's in America. There was a little boy, kept on telling his mom, I'm an actor. I'm a Hollywood actor. I entertain people. I go on ships and I entertain people. The mother thought, a child. And then one day, his mother bought a book. It was to do with Hollywood. And they're paging through. And the little boy said, that's me. There's a picture of a man there. And they went and they investigated. This man had died. And his life was just as the boy had described. There's people that have near-death experiences. How do you explain their accounts? Dr. Weiss, regression hypnosis, has said of people's past lives. The fact that we've been born once, why do we think it's strange that we might be born more times? We see the continuity of our mind stream. The body dies, but the mind carries on. Energy carries on. Why do we think it's strange? If we don't have respect or regard for the next life, then sometimes we live this life very carelessly or callously, without respect, without gratitude, without consideration for future generations, never mind for consideration for our own future lives. But still we can practice love and kindness. Whether there's future lives or not, even in this life, it is of great benefit to yourself and to others. Remember our interdependence, that we rely on so many people, on the environment to breathe, to drink water, the insects. Because of insects, bees, we have the fruit we have flowers. All the things that other people do that complements and contributes to our life. It doesn't just because of what I've earned. So be very conscious of what we're doing, cause and effect. It's very, very important. If we learn to love this world from inside, to laugh at this world, then there's a good chance that this world will love us back. It'll smile back with us. Let's finish there for today. Let's dedicate these merits. First, dedicate these merits to our perfect teachers, and the greatest of gratitude to Gyalwe Nyugu Rinpoche, Lama Achuk Rinpoche, Trulga Arik Rinpoche, all the perfect teachers, for all their kindness, their compassion, for sharing their wisdom, for teaching us the path. Sonam daye tamcha dzipanye, tobne nyepe tranang khajeja, keka nachir balang trupai, tsipi tsoli droa sho.